Mental illness is going to strike more often than not each one of us at least once. It will take a lot of lives if not adequately treated, and this has ripples that touch so many areas of our society. Ramifications of untreated mental illness are so huge. Swedish does an amazing job at so many things, and we have an opportunity to be better at behavioral health as well. We want to embed therapists right in the primary care clinic to increase access, to decrease stigma, as much as possible to offer same-day appointments for counseling and intervention. People trust their primary care physicians. We know our communities. It's the perfect place to deliver psychiatric and behavioral health services. It's important on a number of levels to deliver the right intensity treatment around mental illness early and to treat it until it's in remission. We would not accept half-treated high blood pressure. We do not accept half-treated diabetes, and we should not accept undertreated or untreated mental illness either.
My journey with depression has cost me years of my life. I know that I'm really lucky in that I have 2 beautiful kids and a really supportive husband. But there was a long time, where I felt that I was going to constantly be exhausted and constantly be on an emotional roller coaster that I had no control over.
People come to our attention through many doors. Maybe it's the delivery of an infant and postpartum depression. Sometimes they present in primary care with a cold or with diabetes. Sometimes they present to the emergency room in crisis. We have to figure out a way to open the doors at each of those critical points so that we don't miss an opportunity to help people.
With my first child, I had had some postpartum depression, but it was milder. But then after my second child was born, it just got worse and worse. My thoughts would spiral and spiral to where I was really depressed. And I didn't even realize that I had started down this slippery slope until things got to a point of crisis. When you're going through it, sometimes you don't know you're going through it until someone asks the right questions.
One of the insidious things about mental illness is that it really skews your perspective. There are problems with insight because the suffering is so intense. It really requires somebody sitting next to you, helping to name and describe the problem and create a path for getting out. And that's what the embedded therapists do.
I feel like I have the skills to handle the feelings that I get and the events that may or may not happen to me over the course of my life. I feel much more resilient, and I just wish that everybody could get the treatment that's right for them early on in these struggles and not miss out on 10 or 15 years of their life.
Mental illness does not discriminate. It doesn't care what you do for a living.
I was an attorney, and my practice had been going for quite some time at this point. I was doing fine, and then, then you just get hit by multiple traumatic events, and there you have it. Then you're in a whole different place.
Bill presented in crisis. He presented in crisis from anxiety, from substance use and misuse, after surviving terrible, terrible repeated traumas.
It was a different caliber of falling down than having a setback, losing a job, not getting a job. All these family crises started to create a tremendous strain on all the family connections and my connections to a lot of other people as well, and it just really led me to a place that I hadn't been in my life before, where I really needed to get some help. I found out through a friend about Swedish charity care and about Dr. Cap. He told me when I first saw him, he said, you know, we're gonna deal with these things. We have to figure out what's going on, what problems you're having. Then we'll address them one at a time. It was like, you know, like the sun shining for the first time. I mean, he said, I'm gonna help you. Don't worry about it. I'm gonna help you. And I'm eternally grateful for that. And I hope that, you know, people realize the importance of having this here for people. Because I don't know where I'd be without it, you know. I really don't.
Swedish is rising to that challenge by building a comprehensive mental health system that is going to reach thousands of people year after year for many years to come.
In about 3 months, I went from being just, you know, sort of the lowest part of my life to just having everything turn around. And I'm very thankful that I was able to find this place and find him and be able to get that kind of total approach, which has been life transforming for me.
I see a future where I have the skills to cope with the things that happen in my life that I don't have any control over. I feel that I have a roadmap for success with dealing with my depression. I have a concrete set of steps that I can follow to keep me on the path of enjoying and participating in my life.